Right. Hello, everyone. I hope you will be joining me pretty soon for this live broadcast today. Hi, hope you are doing well. Yeah, hope you are doing well tonight. Okay, right. So I'll get started and I will try to save the recording of this live broadcast. So I'm Marina and I'm a teacher of English of over a couple of decades, a methodologist, and basically I'm the brains and the person behind this project, Английский, Свободно. So today I just wanted to share some information with you which concerns my C1 English courses, groups, speaking club, right? Because a lot of questions are coming and yeah, I would like to answer some of them today. So hello those of you who are watching. If you ask your questions, meanwhile, that would be perfect. Sometimes I might be looking, like in a slightly different direction just because I have my big screen just a little bit to the side from my smartphone. And I will just be checking now quickly if the broadcast is there. Please let me know if there are any issues with the video or with the sound, just in the comments here, okay? Right, so, or if everything is all right and you can hear me fine. Yeah, okay, fantastic. So I've decided to at least start this live in English, just because, well, there was a little poll, but maybe just because there was some votes for Russian, maybe later, just at the end, I will summarize it in Russian. Good, great. So let's get started. So today I'm going to be talking all about C1 level groups. I also teach C2 groups, but that will be a different thing, live next week, so that's coming. Good, and basically I have two different formats at C1, a full systematic course and a speaking club. Both, kind of surprisingly, incidentally, are based on the course book called Outcomes Advanced. And that's why quite a lot of applicants or just people who read this information just might not be quite clear. Okay, so what's the difference between a course based on outcomes and a speaking club based on outcomes? Okay, let me start with the course first, and then I will show you how the speaking club format is really unique, because, well, basically that's what I've devised, and how it's different from the course. Okay, what happens in a course is pretty standard, I would say. There's this course book called Outcomes Advanced. Let me just flash it briefly here. Yeah, so we're using the second edition for now. And basically in a course, in this course, my course, yeah, what we do is we take it unit by unit, task by task. Of course, I sometimes modify certain things. I might change the order or might probably skip something, but more or less we take everything. We study, learn and practice everything in this course book. Okay? Apart from the course book, well, and the workbook, obviously, I have also devised just a huge number of supplementary exercises. Some are interactive, some are done in class, so there's more practice to work on conversational grammar, to work on vocabulary, because you might know that this book is so intensely, I would say, rich in vocabulary that some people say, like, okay, it just snows us under, we're snowed under, we can't sort that out. So what I do in the course, I just really help to sort out that vocabulary and internalize it and practice in speaking, in writing. Well, so the flipped classroom approach is used in the course, but it's kind of a light one. So there's no huge homework that you have to do before the class. There's some homework that could be reading or listening, vocabulary work. When you come to class, we practice that vocabulary. We discuss that, we do certain exercises, but there's a lot of speaking practice. In all my classes, speaking clubs, regular courses, speaking is done in pairs or groups of 3. We work online we use Zoom, and there are breakout rooms. So even though there might be 10 or 8 or 12 people in class, well, 12, that could be for a speaking club, not a regular course. Anyway, they will just be paired up 3 times per class, 4, sometimes 5 times per class, and have this time, 7, 10, 12 minutes to do a certain task together. So there's a lot of communication. So the speaking has to be done in class, and I provide ample time for that, ample opportunities. Right, so this course is pretty systematic, and basically the complete course based on outcomes lasts for 2 academic years. You might know that there are 16 units. They are very vocabulary intensive, and that's why 1 academic year is never enough. Sometimes it takes more than 2 academic years, but I try to make it more or less compact and kind of, squeeze all the material and extra practice into 2 academic years. That's why when you see abbreviations like C1.1, C1.2, in kind of the names of my groups at level C1, that means year 1 of the outcomes course, C1.1, and year 2, C1.2, right? Here comes the question. Okay, so which level do I need to have to do this course? If I want to apply, so people ask me, okay, is B2 all right? Is that enough to do this course? Well, so outcome says advanced, C1, but it's kind of C1 plus. That's why if it's just B2 that you have and you're kind of okay with it, but you've just completed a B2 course, maybe outcomes might be just like, a bit too hard, a bit too much work, taking a bit too much of a toll on your intellectual capacities and your time. So if you have really confident B2 plus level, that's great. So that's exactly what you need to start doing this course book in the course. And in year 1 of the course, we usually cover about half of it. Yeah, maybe like 6 or 7, about 7 units. And it takes you usually like half a level higher. So, but if you already have C1 minus, actually it's totally fine to come to year 2 and do, maybe not from 14, let's say from, something like that, and do that from units 8, 9, like do the second half of the course based on the second part of the outcomes book. And that's totally okay not to start it from the very beginning. There are different reasons, and pretty soon I'm going to post, to have a separate post about those reasons, why it's totally fine to do only year 2 of the course. And I'll just, briefly outline those reasons right now. So, but the main one is that not everyone is ready to study for 2 academic years running. I know a lot of colleagues, I know a lot of people who are ready to do that for 2, 3, 4, 5 years running, but not everyone. So if you know that you can only do 1 academic year of a course at level C1, you just need to decide either it's the first part, if you're B2 plus, or it could be the second part of the book. There's no problem with that if you are at C1 minus, or even C1. I have students who are C1 already and who have taken already some other advanced course, and they just come and do this one because this one is really vocabulary intensive. Yeah, and it's just great in terms of the vocabulary and conversational grammar. Okay, good. So let me just check out my notes to see what other things I have to mention about the course. Maybe some organizational things, and by the way, you are welcome with your questions, in the comments box. So the organizational things concerning the course, more than outcomes, yeah, this one, are just like this. So there's one contact class, one synchronous class in a group online every week, lasting about like 1 hour and 20 or 25 minutes. Then I usually encourage my students to have a study buddy and maybe to change study buddies, to have those sessions once a week, maybe a couple of times a week, or once every 2 weeks. It depends on how much time they have. Those who do that, I can see the result. I can see that their progress is much more obvious than with those students who don't have study buddies. So, but anyway, there's one class that we have, and during 1 month you will have an opportunity to have one speaking club session, also based on outcomes this academic year, which is part of the package that is free for you. Right, then we plan to start at the very end of September, like after the 25th of September, depending on the timetable for each group. And the course will run up to June inclusive. So we finish at the very end of June. So we study in the summertime only for 1 month. Then we have our summer break, and those who would like to continue, go on with this course and do the second year of the course, they come back after this summer break. Right, so do you now have questions about the course based on outcomes that I run? Please let me know in the comments and I'll be checking them. Not yet. Okay, good, right. So then, yeah, there was this question, and I can see it in my notes, about the number of students in each group. Well, for the course, I usually have no more than 10 students. Typically, actually, it's 6, 7, or 8. So, but at the start of an academic year, I might enroll 10 or 11 students because from experience, so usually it happens that after a month or a couple of months, some of them might realize that, oh my God, there's homework to do. Well, I told you so, didn't you know? And it's pretty compact in terms of homework. There are things which are optional. Some are obligatory, some are optional, but oh no, so something changes or their mind changes and maybe they might not expect this kind of work. They might not like something after all. Some people might actually drop out. That's why at the start of an academic year, there might be more than 10 people, but usually on average, it's about 7 or 8 people in each group for the course. Right. Good. Then one more really important question was about discounts. So I do have a regular discount for my students when they pay, like, in a batch, when they pay for 12 or more classes. So and then they usually have either 12 or 13% off, the standard fee. But I also, well, before this live started, I also promised another kind of surprise discount for those who will be watching here online. And okay, I think I can tell you straight away, not only at the end of this. If you are thinking of taking this course or doing this speaking club with me, so you can have an extra discount kind of back to the fees for the previous academic year. They're not published anymore, but maybe someone has screenshots or something, I know them, so they are lower than the fees for this academic year. That's why, so what you need to do to get this discount is just write a message to me, either privately, if you know my private account, or in this group messages, сообщения группы. Yeah? So if you use this function and just write something like, I want a discount, I want a discount on this course, so just write this during this live broadcast and for an hour after it, and you will get this discount. There's no special password or whatever promo code, just like do it within this time period. Yeah, so, and you will get an opportunity to make your first payment with last year's fee. Okay, good. Can I now switch over to talking about the club? Yeah, the basis is still the same, this outcomes book, but now it's a speaking club format. How's that different from a course? Okay, so first of all, let's talk about the duration. The course lasts, as I said, for 2 academic years, 9 months plus then 9 months, so making it 18 months. Some groups even say, let's take it slow, let's not hurry, let's do it for 2.5 academic years, and that's what we do sometimes. But basically it's no shorter than 2 academic years for the course. If it's the Outcomes Advanced Speaking Club, then within 1 academic year, 9 months, we managed to discuss all of the 16 topics from the book. So when I just devised this, actually, that was some sort of groundbreaking concept. So I built a whole speaking club program, the whole syllabus for 8 months based on the same book, but not repeating the book. So, and that's what makes it so different, this speaking club. I don't repeat the tasks. I might just occasionally use some of these, but that's a very rare case. Most, like 98% of the tasks, communicative tasks for the speaking club based on outcomes, have been designed by myself. And sometimes they take the idea of certain tasks here, but use a different material or a different situation, different types of questions. Sometimes they're completely different, maybe even more imaginative and creative than these ones, and more fun, as participants of the club say. How do I do that? You might know that each unit in this course book has 3 parts. So it's broken into 3 parts, like big topic, 3 aspects of the topic. What I do for the speaking club is we only discuss 2 aspects out of 3 for each of the 16 topics. I take all the juicy key phrases, all the nice collocations from each unit, and then I build completely new tasks, right? Completely new tasks based on this lexis. Later in my group, I will share again some samples of materials. Maybe you have seen some of them. Maybe you have seen some pieces like snatches and snippets of recordings from the speaking club. So the materials look quite different from the book. Okay. So what else is so special about the Outcomes Speaking Club? So the classes are, again, once a week, just like in the course, but there will be more participants so that you kind of mingle as much as the online format can let us do. So I pair you up with different speaking partners, yeah, so a few times during a session. You have my presentation with the tasks to discuss, with reminders of the vocabulary to use. So I have like sticky notes attached so that you remember what you could practice there. And there's not really much homework for the speaking club, obviously. So I just provide a list, you know, those vocabulary builders, which are official vocabulary builders from the Outcomes book. So they're separate. And so that you know which aspect we will be discussing in a certain speaking club session. And basically you have my presentation with the tasks in class, just as you just switch on, you get into my Zoom room, I say hello, and I provide the presentation for you. So you won't be overloaded with homework. there are some exercises then that you can do afterwards to revise. I provide some interactive tasks for the speaking club too. So, and basically that's a shorter, more compact, more interactive format. We don't do grammar in the speaking club, maybe just some patterns which I ask the participants to use. But basically, yeah, so that's speaking, that's practicing the vocabulary. It's all about the output. Okay. So 9 months for the speaking club, yeah, compared to 2 years for the systematic course. Then there was a question. The question was like that. If I've never studied with the Outcomes course book, can I join the club, the speaking club, based on it? Or do I first have to take the course, study all of that, and then do the club? It doesn't really matter if you have studied with the Outcomes course book or if you haven't. You can join the club either way. Just because, well, I don't expect people to know anything from it. If you have done this course, or half of it, there are certain benefits in doing the speaking club, the Outcome speaking club. You revise, because there's so much vocabulary here that even after a 2-year course, my students might say like, okay, I just, well, feel that I can't remember everything. I calm them down saying, you're not supposed to remember everything. You're not a machine. You're not, I don't know, a memory stick to remember everything. It's fine to remember 60%. If you remember 70%, you're a star. You've got a fantastic memory and capacity to revise and internalize material. So if you first do the course and then the Outcome Speaking Club, that's just a perfect combination because it enhances your, vocabulary retrieval capacity. So you remember better, you speak more easily. Right. But if you have never studied with this book, it's, again, totally fine to join the club, the speaking club, because you are provided with a list of vocabulary before each club session, and you get my presentation afterwards. So it's absolutely fine. So either way. Right. Any more questions here that you might have? Let me just check that out. I think I can see. Writing in the course. Okay. Yeah, I can see this question. Thank you. Just give me a moment. Okay, so what is, if you have to choose either to do the course, Outcomes course, or join the Outcomes speaking clubs, like what is better? Sometimes I get this question. I don't know what is better for you. It really depends on the targets that you set yourself. If you are ready for thorough, systematic work, if you're ready to spend a couple of hours doing your homework every week, plus taking part in our classes, if you're okay studying like comprehensively for 1 or maybe 2 years, okay, so the course is the best option for you. At the same time, some other people might say like, well, I don't have much time. I need something lighter. I just need to keep up the level of my English, my speaking skills. I don't really want to delve too deep into that. Just something lighthearted. Okay, that's the club, the speaking club format then. And yeah, so, and now I can take Ekaterina's question about writing. Yeah, so how much writing the course includes. Of course, this will be one of the differences, but not such a huge one between the club and the course at the same time. Well, to tell the truth, there's not much writing that we do in the course. Usually I ask to write some kind of, not to, frighten off my students who might not want to write, because we're not preparing for an exam, so it's okay not to write much. So I usually ask them to do that once per unit. In the course, we study 1 unit for 4 regular classes, and class 5 is for revision. And usually for this fifth review class, I ask them to write a text. I usually say write a short text, but they can write a longer essay if they want to. We don't practice any specific formats of writing, like in CAE, say, not in this course. We might change it with the new groups. I mean, I will ask them, and if they say, we want to practice writing reports, we want to practice writing this, this, and this, okay, we can do that. It just means that the course will be a bit longer, just to incorporate those new, things in the syllabus. Sorry. But usually there is some writing every fifth class, and from time to time in between, like while we're still doing a unit, I ask them to write a short response to a question. Sometimes I ask them either to record it, a video recording or a voice recording, and submit on Telegram, where we have a chat for our group, for each group, or to do it in writing. So kind of done, on a rota basis. Sometimes they answer a couple of questions orally and record themselves. Sometimes they do that in writing. Yeah, but there is no punishment for not doing writing. There are no, if you didn't do it, if you haven't done it before some deadline, you kind of can't submit that, as I usually do in my exam courses, C2 exam courses. So it's the light-hearted version of writing. Okay, good. Now let me just check it out. What are the questions I have on my list? Okay. Right. I don't suppose I kind of have. Well, I could go on, yeah, for much longer. But basically, I think I've just, in a nutshell, that's basically it. And I'll just repeat this information about the discounts. Okay. So as I said, and it applies to both the course and the speaking club based on outcomes. So you can, if you want to study with me, you can make your first payment with last year's fee, last academic year's fee. Just drop a message to me, either in the comments or better in group messages, maybe privately. So just drop a message saying that you want a discount, and I will show you what last year's fees were. Okay, just try to do that right now or during the hour afterwards, after we finish. Right, good. So let me just check very quickly if I got any other questions here. Doesn't look like that. Right, good. So just once again, so both the course, outcomes course, right, and the outcome speaking club are going to start at the very end of September, or if the group is still not quite complete, maybe in early October, hopefully. And yeah, so I will be really happy to see you there. I'm going to attach the links to both of them in the chat box at the moment, just in case you wanted to have a look at the fees, but you will see the fees for the new ones for this new academic year. Okay, if you write I want a discount right now or just very, very soon, you will have to pay less. Okay, great. So just some final things to recap that. I love this speaking club dearly. I love this course dearly. I have kind of a lot of supplementary materials, just, not something different, not some new videos and audios which will, just make it bigger, heavier and more work. Well, I do provide them, but they are always optional, just if my students want to do that. But generally, I just have more supplementary materials to practice what we have in the book. And that does help. You might have seen some of the feedback, some of my students' reviews of the way it helped them. So if you join me, I will be really happy to discuss that with you. If you're still not kind of clear, if you need the course, if it has to be C like year one, or if it's okay to join year two of the course, or if the speaking club format is better, or if you probably should try and do both at one time, just get in touch with me. I'll chat to you. We'll just discuss your targets and the possible options for you, and we'll see what fits you. The very, very final thing to say will be about the timetable, the schedule. You will see that I have 3 time slots proposed for the course and 3 time slots proposed for the speaking club at C1. It doesn't mean that I'm going to have all those 6 groups. No, it's just not possible for me myself, because I teach all of them. I can't do all of them. I can't teach all of them. It only means that pick all of those which are fine for you, all of the time slots which you can make during the academic year. Because, for example, I have time slots on Wednesday evening, but they're not very popular. I don't really get many people enrolling there. So most probably I won't teach those groups on Wednesday evening unless something changes dramatically within the following 2 weeks before we start. It might. Now with the course, I have 2 time slots. So on Saturday we definitely do. We are going to have our group on Saturdays for the course, 11:30. The other time slot for a different group, first year, is Friday, 9:20 in the morning, Moscow time. Yeah, Moscow time, 9:20. So I still need at least a couple of people in this group before I say, okay, that group's gonna launch. So I hope, well, we're going to have a couple more people. So Friday, 9:20. For the speaking club, the most popular slot is Thursday, 11:30. So if you're happy with that, enroll, and we will discuss all the administrative stuff there and maybe the questions that you have. Right. Good. So please check out the information using the links in the comments, right, which I've just submitted. And definitely you'll hear more from me about these courses. And next week I'm going to do a live session related to my C2 course. Great. So thank you so much for your questions, for joining me. Okay, and yeah, I'll see you around. Take care. Bye-bye. Never hesitate to drop me a line. See you.